just us, just us. Said we wouldn't be like all the others, fight and hurt each other. Not us, not us. But we let each other down, 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 down. Yeah, we let each other down, 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 down. This shouldn't be us. What came between us? When did we become like them? We weren't supposed to break up, but it's too late to make up. Don't know if my heart will mend. No, this should not be us, not be us, not be us. This should not be us, not be us, not be us. Remember when you thought that we were better than all of the others? Just us, just us. Said we wouldn't let things come between us. Let love rule, not beat us. Not us, not us. But we let each other down, 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 down. Yeah, we let each other down, 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 down.
Good afternoon, good evening, good morning, whatever time it is that you're watching. We are your host, Andre and Lydia, and you are watching the Unedited podcast right here on Black News Undisputed. And we have our special guest for tonight, Talia DeBose. How are you? Oh, I think you're muted.
I'm great. How are you guys?
Doing good, thank you.
How are you?
Yes, thank you
Awesome.
so much for coming on tonight. Sorry for the color people time, everybody. We're going to do better in 2021, all right? All right, guys. So we are going to get into the hot topics really quickly, guys. All right, we are going to talk about the new president that will be starting in January for MSNBC, Rashida Jones. All right, African American young lady, very beautiful, powerful. She's been in working for MSNBC for a number of years. That's the channel that I watch for my news. That's what I follow. You have Joy Reid over there, which is an African American, just got a primetime slot. So, that was a big win for us. You know what I'm saying? But I'm just so happy that we have a woman of color and a woman of power that's going to be representing and taking control of the media, the media airwaves. Okay. So, Talia and Lydia, you both are, powerful women in business and, are both CEOs of your respective companies. What are your thoughts on having a black woman in power like that for MSNBC, a major news organization?
Go ahead, Lydia.
I think, that's that black girl magic. Like, still continuing. I like it, especially what's going on now with everything with this pandemic. I feel like that's a great change. We need change. I think it's a nice small stepping stone of a blueprint for future generations that she could lead by example. Like anyone that wants to be in that kind of field, she's like leaving a blueprint as far as that for other future females to take the role and, be strong black women. It's showing like a strong black woman in power. And MSNBC, that's a high level. And for her to be president in a predominantly, white, I hate to say use race, but white.
That's what it is.
Predominantly white industry. For her to be president, I think that's a wonderful. thing. That just shows like future generations that, you know, there's still hope that, you know, we can still do this.
Right, right, right. Talia, what do you think?
Oh, well, I definitely think that is a great opportunity at this present moment, with everything that's going on in our country, even leading up to COVID, where you had all the different blacks and that were being black men that were being killed. Now it seems like the role is starting to switch when it comes to governmental authority, where we have our Vice President elect Kamala Harris, and then now we have MNBC for her to be over that station is just a definitely great thing for so many things that's going to be going on and going forward. You have a lot of black prominent people that are stepping up and being able to take over and not just show that black people are in charge, but to show a different aspect of what African Americans stand for. Um, a lot of things that you see on TV, you see the different TV shows where you have, like sorry to say, I call them raunchy shows, but you have, the reality TVs, with the Atlanta, hip hop and all those different things. And I feel that those shows kind of portray black people in a derogatory way. Whereas now you have a lot of women and a lot of men that are now stepping up to the plate as African Americans and saying there we are educated. There's no we're not all uneducated. We're not all raunchy. We're not all I don't know what kind of word I can
Aggressive.
use.
Let's use that
Thank
word.
you. Yes. Yes.
Aggressive.
Not all aggressive,
Yeah.
um men, there are men that are not just walking around with their pants sagging down. There are women that's out there that are not, using their body to be able to get to a higher place.
Hmm.
So I believe that this is definitely a changing of the guards that's going on right now.
I agree. I definitely agree. I'm excited, because a lot of times you have white folk that are and when we say white folk for the sensitive people, we're not trying to downplay, but that's just what it is. We live in a white man's world. So we just have to call it what it is when we have someone that's in power. Now, my only reservation right now is let's see what happens. Let's see if she really is going to do something for African Americans. Is she going to put people of color in those power positions? Because she might be just a yes woman to say yes to all the white folks' ideas just because she's happy to be there. We don't know. I don't really know much about her. I actually never even heard of her until I did decide to do some research when I saw the story. So let's just see what she does. Let's see if she gives Al Sharpton his show back on weeknights. He was on weeknights. They threw him on Sundays. You know,
On the days that he preached. Okay.
yeah, yeah, yeah. I'm saying like he had a prime time slot, and then they took him off, and put him on the weekend now. So it's like, come on, like hopefully, everybody's not an Al Sharpton fan, but I'm just saying, like,
Yeah, I'm not, but it's okay. It's just, I don't like to mix, as they would say, church and state.
right,
And for him to be, 1 minute it's, God the Father, the Son and the Holy Spirit, and then the next minute it is, it's
brush
like,
you up.
right, what I'm saying? It's like he's just he goes for what he knows is going to stand at that present moment. And so sometimes I feel like he kind of wavers in his stance. And so that's why I'm not an Al Sharpton fan.
Yeah, yeah. And then, as far as black people are concerned too, because I was having this conversation with a few people, and this might be a little controversial, but this is unedited. So, we're just saying it like it is.
Okay.
Some people criticize Mr. Barack Obama because, they say, well, hey, he was the first black president, but he didn't really do nothing for us. And I did some research, and thinking when you really sit and think about it, sorry Barack Obama fans, I was on the Barack Obama bandwagon too, but I have a change of heart, and I don't dislike him, but I just feel like he was a pawn. He was just used. You know, they gave us a black man so we could just shut up and be happy. But do you really think that the government would really give us a black man, like literally, like willingly, like to have all that power? You know, there's so many stories about him being actually gay and Michelle Obama being actually was a transgender and all of this kind of stuff. And I mean, when you really think about it, and then he made like okay, transgenders have more power than black men. They have more rights. You know, when you really think about it, transgender people have more rights than African American men and women. And that's kind of crazy. Nothing against the LGBTQ community, because I have family members that are part of that community. You know what I'm saying? I respect everybody. I love everybody. That's your choice. I'm nobody's judge. But that's just how I see it. You know, I did the research and I'm off that bandwagon now. And even Kamala Harris, okay, she's the first black woman. But remember, at one point, she wasn't even identifying as black. We got to think about that. And she put a lot of black men in jail.
Wow.
You can respond. This is unedited.
I promise you I do, because I would be, you know, my Facebook page would be blown up. So I try to stay out of the political.
Well, I'm not trying to start no trouble. I'm just trying to say
it's not even a part of, you know, like, you know, knowing trouble. But okay, so as we say, this is controversial, right?
Mm-hmm.
So okay, so we know Orange Head, you know, 45. You know, and when you look at it, even with everything that's going on right now, as much as just do your ways, your cons, and everything, what is Biden really going to do for us?
Yeah.
As a black, you know, society, what is he really going to do for us? He's not even really for us, if you look at it. And then if you look at everything that's going on right now, besides the fact that Trump has been a straight asinine, and that is an actual word. It's not a cuss word, you know. The fact that he is that when it comes to COVID and not, you know, being protective and different things like that that's going on, but he has done more for the black community than any president that we've kind of ever had.
I can't argue with that. That's definitely shown facts in his work. I would just say, as far as overall as a people, just as a people, if we really think about it, I feel like this is just generational. You know how people talk about generational curses?
Yeah.
I feel like as a people, we just need to wake up and find unity within ourselves to support each other instead of having a crab in a bucket mentality.
Yeah.
I think if we come together and agree, like, let's support this black business, let's support this restaurant that's black owned, and just really come together as a people, you'll see a shift, like, in the whole generational, because I really truly believe, like, we are the dollar. As far as if we really think about it, we run the economy. We are, like, if we really think about, like, celebrities adapt to our culture.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of celebrities adapt to our culture because they know we are that dollar. So why are we not investing within ourselves? Why are we not investing into these small businesses? Why are we not encouraging each other? Why are we not doing more for our community? Like,
right.
that's the real question. Like, why are we so, like, tuned
Because
into
of
these
the mentality of what we were taught?
And that's what I'm saying. So why are we not breaking these generational curses? We already know. We already been subjected to the knowledge. We already see, like, if we really research, the internet is free. You can literally research. and really get into like what's going on in this world, like what's really the agenda. But I'm just like wondering, like, why are we still stuck? Like, it's like the crab. I really go into this because I'm like, why are we stuck on this crab in a bucket mentality? Why can't we just, instead of having that mentality, why are we not like reaching out our hands and be like, okay, come on, my brother, okay, come on, my sister? Why are we so tuned into not like help each other out when it comes to certain things? Because I feel like as a people, we are so much greater, like so much greater.
Yeah, yeah, and a lot of times I think about boycotting, and I feel like boycotting would be very effective in 2020. But
That, but I don't think that's. I'm sorry to cut you off. I don't think
no,
that's
no,
true.
no, it's okay.
I just feel like if we go back into like that's another thing that's playing on racism. We've been like racism been played out. Like that's like the I don't know, the energy that is easy for us to go back and be like, oh, like we start pointing the finger, we start like reverting back, and I'm just like, why are we not, instead of like, why boycott? Like, why just we just can't just
Well,
come together? You get what I'm saying? Like, why can't we just come together and be
mhm.
like, okay, instead of spending money on Gucci, Louis Vuitton, Michael Kors, Coach, why are we not supporting these black businesses that are just as good as these designer labels? Like, it's easy. I think it's just a programming that we just need to really desensitize as a community, like unplug for a minute.
Yeah,
Because
yeah,
if we find like work in our within ourselves, then it's a greater value. You get what I'm
right,
saying?
right,
Because
right.
like other people have done it. In an easy example, I'm gonna use the Kardashians. The Kardashians, like that's the easiest way. Like it just clicked. Like Kardashians to me, they are billionaires right now. Kim Kardashian is known to be a billionaire because she knew like who to target. This is about marketing. So if that's the case, then why are we not as supportive when it comes to one another? Because it could be multi-billionaires. We could be a $1 billion industry within ourselves, regardless
Right.
if it's like the beauty industry is a $1 billion industry. What else? Cars is a like if you go into investment in cars, it's a $1 billion industry. If you really research it, it becomes a $1 billion industry. So even Kylie Jenner off of makeup, these people are making money off of makeup.
And who's wearing
Um,
it?
we are, and that
We
and
are.
that we exactly. That's what I'm saying.
Right.
As people, we are the ones that are wearing it. I guarantee they do a survey right now. We're the highest number as a minority. The minority group,
Mhm.
brown skin, dark skin, light skin, within the minority, I feel like we are the ones that are giving these people their paycheck and they know exactly how to market, how to promote, how to do this. But I'm sure there's other people that are doing the same thing as these people, but we're not looking at it because we're not celebrity.
And
It's
I
not
don't even think it's on a celebrity level. If you look at it, if you look at, okay, I'm originally from, Hollis, Queens, New York. Every corner store is owned by what? A Pakistani or
Mhm.
Indian.
But
And
that
and
makes
when you,
sense because they
Sometimes
support each
Spanish.
other.
yeah,
Think about
and when
it.
you
They
ask
support each other.
them why is it that why do they always open up their stores in our neighborhood? It said because we already know you're gonna buy from us.
And
No
that's
one
my
else.
whole
Chinese say the same exact thing. You don't see if you go to a predominantly wealthy neighborhood, you don't see Chinese restaurants, you don't see a corner store. I'm even in the South, and only in the lower income areas do you see what they call a bodega, or here we have like night and days type stores where you get like the cigarettes and stuff like that. And because they already know what's going to work, you have to know what your audience is. And if something I have learned, if every drug dealer, if every um person that's on the street take the mindset that they have to sell those drugs and flip it into a business, they would be multimillionaires.
But I agree with you, but that's what I'm saying. I feel like as if we come together as a community with
Mm-hmm.
all these Black owned businesses that going on, I'm sure during COVID and this quarantine, when we was like locked down for 3 months, I'm sure people birthed Black businesses, something
Mm-hmm.
that they've been working into. There was enough time to invest in themselves.
Right.
And with that being said, I see it all the time on social media, like people always promoting. But why is it so hard when it comes to supporting a business? Why we're not tapping into that? Why we're still going to the Kardashians or
'Cause we
the
still feel
NBA?
like people owe us something.
Or like I don't understand why we're not coming into feeding into the community.
I
And
think I think it's because sometimes we feel like people still owe you something. They have that mindset and that mentality of I can get this cheaper here. I'm, me being a business owner, I've had someone who, get their t-shirts from me. But because I started doing all other things and I don't want to be able to just keep a standard of giving shirts, like, one custom shirt here or one custom shirt there. So now I make it to where you have to purchase a bulk order amount of shirts. And they wanted something. I can't remember what it was. And because my price was higher than what it used to be when I first started out, why? Because I have a degree now and I value myself on a different level.
I
They
don't
were like, oh, I'll go get it off of Amazon. Okay.
Go there.
okay, and then that's my whole that like you're like what you're saying is proving my point because you saw worth in yourself. Why we not seeing worth in ourselves anymore?
And
You said you
because
got a
we
degree,
don't,
you
it's
know.
the mentality of how we were raised. If you see the different homes that people come in from and different things like that, they'll say, you got some people who was just raised where people call them stupid. So now when they get older, you can just be playing around and having a conversation. You can be like, "Oh man, you stupid." And I've had someone who's like, "Don't do that. Don't call me stupid. I'm not stupid." And they've got completely offended. Why? Because they were stuck in that offense from childhood. They were stuck in all these different areas from things that they have not grown and they have not been able to be healed from. There's a lot of healing that needs to go on. There's a lot of different things that needs to go on, and it has nothing to do with church. It just has to do with healing. Some black communities don't believe in psychology. Going to see a psychiatrist.
Therapy. Mm-hmm.
You need therapy. You need just because therapy helps. I see a therapist. I don't care what no one says. Therapy helps. It helps you to be able to see you and see where your faults and different things is. And if we as a Black community can get past the stigma of, what goes on in my family stays in my family, and I'm not allowed to go see a therapist because my mom or my family gonna call me stupid, then let them call you stupid. But when you have $1 million next year, I bet you they're gonna come to stupid to act stupid for money. You know what I'm saying?
I agree with and I agree. I totally agree with you with that, and that's what I'm saying. Like, when are we gonna break this generational curse? Because it's just years. This is happening for years. Like, it's just crazy as far as like how I see people's mentality, even just now. And you're right. It starts with forgiving yourself.
Mm-hmm.
You need to find yourself. Forgiveness goes a long way when you forgive yourself and you let go of the past and just rethink on a mental level, spiritual level. Like, it's just a whole nother journey at that point. And I just feel like we need to just stop looking, back in the past. Like, stop looking in the history books, because as our ancestors, we were kings and queens.
Yeah.
We weren't like slaves. We weren't slaves until we were brought onto this land. So, like, why are we still like on this? Why do we cannot see like one person come up, and why do we need to feel like we need to hold knowledge and keep that like as a secret, like always hush hush? Like, why is it everything like so hush hush now? And I just feel like it's a little frustrating, but like I said, like, I only can speak for myself and how I feel. And I just feel like, me personally, it starts with love and kindness. It starts with, finding peace within yourself. It starts with, on my level, it started with me finding God first.
Yeah.
Once I knew who my father was, I could start like and getting to know him. And I'm still, and to this day, I'm still learning. Like building this relationship with God is still a journey. But like when I know like who the source of my strength is, then I could deal with certain circumstances in my life easily because I know like I have no full control. Like I know it's a spiritual battle at the end of the day.
Wow. Wow. And that's definitely a great thing to know. I see something in the comments. I think Dr. Smallwood said, culturally, you can't know what you've never been taught. Where are the role models or the mentors? Why do we need and I'm just going to I'm going to be the devil's advocate at this moment. Why do we
Okay.
always need a role model and a mentor? You have a role model, Jesus Christ. You
Amen.
have, you know what I'm saying? You have a role model. You have that one person, whether they are the same color of your skin or not. You have some people, if they've been able to do it, you can do it. Why do we have to have somebody physically show us what needs to be done? As Lydia said, there's a plethora of information that is on the internet. You can find things out. No one taught me how to become a business owner. Why? Because everyone had that crab in the barrel type of mentality. And so when I asked questions, I got very little information. And so I had to go to school and study, go and research. The Bible says we perish for the lack of knowledge. You know, better yet.
Thank you.
And then
Repeat that again. Wait. Repeat that again. I'm sorry.
it
Repeat
says
that again. Wait,
the
what?
Bible says we perish for the lack of knowledge. Let's even go past that. The old fable that says, if you want to keep something from a black man, put it in a book.
Yep.
That's
We
true.
don't read. We don't read. We don't do research. As Andre said before he got on the show, he said he went and he researched the lady who is becoming the president of MS. Am I saying it correctly?
MSNBC. MSNBC.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know, you researched her, you researched the people, you even researched the people that come on your show before they come on your show. Why? Because you want to make sure that they walk in the integrity that they need to walk in before you put them before other people. It's just a lack of knowledge. If you want to become a successful business owner, if you want to become successful, then you need to research and look for the resources that's needed for the niche or the thing that you're trying to do. Even if it's just something that you know, everyone says, I can't do a business, I can't do this, but everybody wants something quick. Everything is not quick.
It's not.
It's not a quick fix. You're not, because guess what? That quick fix, you're going to want it again. Why? Because now you've gotten thirsty for the high of having something really quick and really. And so then guess what? That's what happens with the fast food. If you eat some Chinese food today, go to the corner, Francis Lewis. Yeah, because I'm gonna talk to New Yorkers because I know New Yorkers are here. Go to the corner of Francis Lewis and Hollis Avenue and go get you a sandwich from the deli. I promise you, within the next 2 hours, you're gonna be, or go to Hops and get you some Chinese food, and you're gonna be hungry within the next 45 minutes to an hour. Why? Because it was fast, it wasn't nutritional, it was made with MSNGC, it had all that stuff in it, and everything is processed food. And that's, you need to go through the process of becoming a successful person so that you can stay and maintain successfulness. Now, one thing I can say about Trump that he has an issue with, he didn't know how to walk the process of being a president. That's why he only lasted one term.
Maybe it's not over yet. He won.
He didn't win. He didn't.
It's still saying elected. Like right now, it's saying elected. They haven't officially. We really do not know who our president is right now. But I will.
They just finished with it. They just finished. I seen it on the news yesterday. Now something could be incorrect, but from what I seen on the news yesterday was that none of the other states was like, we're not doing this anymore. This is over. He just needs to get over it. He needs to stop throwing his tantrum and, you know, doing the stuff that he's doing. But yet and still, even if he does become president again, he has a long road to prove to people, or stay president. He has a long road to prove. Why? Because he didn't walk the process of that. It wasn't. Every president that has become president, whether you realize it or not, they were groomed before they became the president.
Ooh, say that one more time, because I agree with you on that. Because
They
I
were
said
groomed for this.
the difference is the different. I agree with you, because the difference is Trump, they could not control. Trump said what he wanted to say, when he wanted to say, and how he wanted to say it.
And
But
what they don't like
that, they definitely were groomed, and I agree.
Yes.
With you. I
and see what
agree
they don't
with you
like
on
about
that.
yes.
I agree with you on that. And I will play on what you said, because when I was in college, cosmetology school, and I graduated, I reached out to a few people because I just wanted to learn the business. They look successful, and I wanted to learn the business, and just to see what I'm getting myself into, and to like you said, they were hush hush. They wasn't really like, I don't have time, I can't put you as an apprentice, or like little stuff like that. So it just made me aware. Like, I'm just like, oh wow, like I really have to do this on my own. And I just want to be like me now, like looking back, like hindsight, like just like, oh, okay, let me fast forward, like let me look back and look now. Like, I cannot be that type of female, because if someone comes to me and they want to learn the knowledge, I'm very willing to give it to them. There's no problem like with me sharing my knowledge, because if you're confident in yourself and your work, I know they're not gonna do it like me, but I'm willing to tell them, like, no, it's not easy, you need to do this, and maybe you need to start with this first. Like, just give them like little advice to make them aware, because I know they're confident in what they're doing.
And something that we and as it seemed like we're just alike. I'm not gonna let nobody have to struggle to get to where I'm at when I know how to get there. But a lot of people take that, right? They take that part from us as we're weak-minded. Not weak.
No.
But guess what? If I can get somebody to do what I've done, a great leader, followers become greater than them.
Thank you.
And that's the issue that we have is because we have bosses. I'm not a boss. I'm a leader.
You are a boss. If you own your own business, you're a boss. Don't
let me tell you why I'm not a boss. Let me tell you why I'm not a boss. Because 95%. But listen to me, Lydia. Why you know why I'm saying I'm not a boss? You're like, no, I'm saying you're a boss.
You are a boss.
Okay, I don't like the term. Let's put it this way. Let's say it is
for you, because whoever is looking at this podcast, you're already running your own business. You're already running your own business, so you are a boss. Don't ever water down what you're doing, because you never know what blueprint or what footprint you're leading for other generations. So you are a boss. Don't ever water that down. I'm serious. No matter what you're doing, whether it's out of your own home, whether no one knows your struggle, but just remember, you are a boss. Regardless of what you're trying to do, you are a boss. You are a boss. If you have a business in mind already, if you already planted that seed, you are a boss. Don't ever forget that. So I'm not gonna let you downplay and be like, I'm not a boss. No, you are.
No, okay. Well, let me say what I'm saying.
Okay.
The reason why I'm not going to say that I'm not a boss was because I'm saying, as far as the terminology and what comes behind the term of listen. Let me come. No, when it comes to 95% of bosses don't have leadership quality. There's a lot. Okay, and so that's the reason why I personally say I'm not a boss. Why? Because I rather walk in leadership than to walk into and then walk as a so-called say boss, and all I'm doing is dictating to you. I feel like bosses dictate, but they don't give leadership to show you how to be where they are.
And that's where you change the whole definition of a boss. That's what I'm saying. You still a boss, but you want to be a boss, a leadership, entrepreneur. What did Josiah say? Can we bring that Josiah comment back?
I think he said, boss leader,
entrepreneur, here, CEO. That's all this follow says. When you plant your seed and say, like, okay, I'm a boss, I'm running my own business, and someone comes to you and asks you for advice, you're not gonna turn them away. So you will give them your actual opinion. So that's when you become a leader. Then now you're seeing another entrepreneurship from that, because now they're gonna be like, oh, this person reached out to me, they gave me their honest opinion. Then you're an entrepreneur, because now your business is growing just because you planted that one seed in that one person. You never know what you're changing in someone else's life.
You're right.
Like people don't know. An act of kindness goes a long way.
Definitely.
Literally, an act of kindness, when you show people love, it goes a long way, because you never know with that person what seed you planted. And say that person, that seed you planted, they become a boss, they become a leadership, they become an entrepreneur, they come in here a CEO, and they think back of that one act of kindness. That one act of kindness. And that was you. And they thank you for that years later. Like, it wasn't for you. If you didn't give me that knowledge, I would not have known, like, to take this road. And you just made me aware of what I need to do. You made me aware, this and that. Like, think about it.
Right.
It. That industry they're trying to get into, and what happens if they become a billionaire? Like I said, beauty in basically any industry right now is $1 billion industry. Whether you're doing trading, whether you're doing beauty, whether you're doing trying to do your own private in-house chefing. Like, if you went to another person and they show you an act of kindness and be like, you know what, I did that step too. Don't go that route, because I went there and I learned from this route. Da 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 da. You never know. You can change their whole direction. And because that little act of kindness, it's just like you're redirecting them. Like, people are becoming more aware. So I'm saying personally, no, just make the definition of a boss in your manner. Like, okay, a boss. Okay, this is my definition of boss is this, and lead by that. Because you never know. That's what I'm saying. People are entitled to their opinions and how they view things. And like I said, hopefully we can just get on one accord.
Yeah, and it makes you look at it in a different perspective, because I just want to be that person that knowledge is free. Knowledge is definitely free. And as I think Dr. Smallwood was saying, if I said the name correctly, she was saying, like, okay, there's a lot of, it comes with our culture. But when is the cultural barrier going to be broken? One of us have to do it. So if we start with who we are at this present moment, and then we teach our children, and our children's children teach their children, we won't have to worry about the culturally you can't know what you've never been taught. No, that's just like, but we can't use that as a crutch either. Because you have men out there, you even have women out there that say, okay, well, I didn't have a mother to teach me that, or I didn't have a father to teach me that. Okay, so you be the mother that teaches your child. You be the father that teaches your child.
That's what I was saying before. That's what I was saying before. I'm not just mean. I'm sorry.
No, I got you.
That's what I was saying before. That's where it starts within yourself. Who do you want to project yourself to be in this world? Spiritually, mentally, physically, emotionally. Who are you that you want to project? When you find out who you are, because I feel like it starts with confidence. When you know, when you know who you are, let me y'all listen to me clearly. When you know who you are, and you research and do the things that you want to do, there's a strong foundation at this point. No one can stare you like, oh, like say someone said the sky is green. Nah, I don't believe that. What you mean? You done your research. You know who you are at this point. Like, no one can persuade you, be like, oh, look up at the sky. The sky is green. Like, no one can take that and be like, oh no, like it's just a whole nother mindset when you know who you are. And I feel like people need to find out who they are. Like, they need to heal, let go of the past, because the past could drag you. Like, something that happened 10 years ago could still be in your present. You don't let that go. that's still holding you back.
Yeah.
I think we need to start like just letting go and let God. Letting
Definitely.
go and let
Let
God
God. Definitely. You can't allow your past to
to predict
dictate
your future.
to dictate your future. I mean, if I allow my past, and those of that may be on that know me from New York, if I allow my past to dictate who I was and to dictate what's going on, I would never be the business owner that I am today. I would not be married to my wonderful husband, who said he's watching right now, because I keep trying to figure out if he's watching.
Yeah,
I wouldn't, I would not be who I am right now. I would still be stuck on Hollis Avenue, where where I used to be embarrassed watching my mother stand on the corner, as an alcoholic. I would be in the same exact cycle that she was in, because my family, were a family of alcoholics, a family of people who did certain things. But I said, I'm not going to allow that to be who I am. I had to break that cycle. I had to break the cycle of, not being the one that didn't graduate from college, and not being the one. No, I'll make sure I went to school. Education is a big part of my life. I don't play when it comes to education. My daughter will tell you, not I don't do.
Knowledge is power. And like
You
I
bought me
said, a
a
degree, and that's another thing I need people to realize, a degree does not define you, but
no
knowledge is power. But the more knowledge you attain, the more you could come back and, that's
B.
your weapon. That's
Yeah.
your weapon. When people come at you and think that you're not mentally there, you could come back and be like, oh no, but I am this. Because people look at you differently when you know what you're talking about and you're confident in what you're talking about.
And you don't even have to worry about like the whole thing. Okay, well, um as they say, well, Steve Harvey would say, I didn't have a high school education to become who he became.
Yeah.
95% of a lot of people don't need a high school education or a college degree to become who they are, but the fact that you do have it plays a great
Great
role as
role.
well.
Yeah, I agree with you.
As a graphic designer, okay, I had my business. I was successful without having a degree. But now that I have a degree, I can get a corporate account. You see the big difference? So it also helped me to be able to get at a different level of wealth, to have a degree. My degree didn't define me.
That part.
My degree didn't define me, and it didn't make me who I was, because I was successful beforehand. When I walked across the stage, the director of the school said, please come back and teach. No, I don't want to teach at your school. You know more than the directors here. I'm good. I don't need that. But the fact that, because I taught myself from YouTube University, I taught myself how to do what I do. So I tell people in a hot minute, no, my degree did not define who I was. My background did not define who I was. I defined who I was by making sure that I put the time and the effort in to learn the business. You learn let's go straight black. If you are a so-called pharmaceuticist, then you know you know exactly what I mean when I say what I say. You know, if you are in the pharmaceutical business, you know exactly how many grams and how many dime bags and how many whatever you need for that particular corner that you're gonna stand on, or that you're gonna do. Or you're gonna be, let's bring it up into the day's time. Let's go to Power real quick. You gonna be like the little boy from Off of Power, and you're gonna figure out how to make sure that your move and your product moves safely without you getting caught by the police. So what did he do? For those of you who don't watch Power, what did he do? What did he do, Lydia?
And I'm just like, to me, he was very smart. He was watching his father very closely. Very, 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 very closely. But to me, he is very smart when it comes to moving. Like when I saw that, when I saw how he was moving, he knew how to do it and make it turn his dirty money into clean money.
Yeah.
But that's not the route I'm trying to say, because I know he was doing it for his mother, because you're going into survivor mode.
Yep, he's still doing it.
I do agree with you as far as when it comes to knowledge is power, being confident in yourself. Like you knew exactly, you had a plan, you had goals, and you just checked it off the list. You crossed it off.
Right.
Just
Right.
constantly.
And that's the thing. Like, those of you who may be looking at, because since Andre decided he wants to bring the next powerful generational on here, if you're looking to do business and this is what we're doing, you don't have to be at that level, say, okay, well, I can't do this because I don't have a degree. I can't do this. Listen, there's kids entrepreneurs. One of my friends on here right now, her son has his own phone case business where he makes phone cases and he sells them in school. My daughter started in fourth grade. When slime was really big, that girl would come home and she would make her some slime and she would take it to school and sell it in the cafeteria. She wasn't playing.
Hustle.
And I do believe that the children are the future. That's what I'm saying. I'm wondering when this generational curse is going to break. Because if we teach them young now, you never know what the future holds. And that's what I'm saying. You name 2 kids. They're not third grade. I don't even think I was thinking about a business, but for them to be like, oh, I can do this
selling candy in third grade. I wasn't playing.
But I was like, okay, yeah, you're right, candy and stuff like that.
Right.
Now when they really thinking, they're thinking on a bit, like they think they're mental. Like these kids now, they technology savvy.
Yeah.
They're very technology savvy. They know how to research. So I'm just like, it's more to this. But I do want to know what's going on with the comments. Like, what do people have to say in the comments? Like, what's your views and your opinions about tonight's topic?
We have a lot of comments that weren't even read, and we've got a couple of paragraphs. So we're gonna take a quick break and just go through the comments. Hello to everyone that's left a comment. Sorry we didn't get to acknowledge you earlier. So let's just go down the line here.
Yeah.
We're gonna go back to Dr. Small because there's some stuff that she said we did not acknowledge. Harris is not thinking about us. She is only trying to prepare to look out for herself. She wants to be president.
Amen. Now, okay, Dr. Smallwood, you hit something there because I do agree with you with that, honey. Because power is a hell of a drug.
Yes.
And I feel like, Biden, not to say he's old. I don't think I don't want to shoot that into
He's officially a senior citizen.
Yeah, he's been officially a senior citizen like 30 years ago, but it's okay.
Seeing a bigger picture. I do see she's seeing a bigger picture. I do feel like she's seeing the bigger picture. I think it's a different motive and a different agenda when it comes to her.
Right, exactly. Yeah. And we have this question from Josiah. I have a question. When analysis of President-elect Biden and Vice President-elect Harris agendas and platforms are you basing critique past or present, systemic issues or political, social or economic?
I think it would be on all scales.
Go ahead. I'll let you.
I would think it would be on all of those, basing past or present. Okay, let's go to the past. Biden was vice president before, and what did he do? Nothing. I mean, I'm sorry. I'm just okay. Let's go to him doing that. He's gonna move Biden. He's gonna move Obamacare and make it Biden care. I mean, come on, get your own stuff. Okay, so that's present. Systematic issues. How about we get people off the street? There's so many rundown. I live in the South now, and I promise you, I don't even know if it's still like that up north, but there are so many rundown buildings that can be remade into rehabilitation centers to help people get off the street, that can help them do what needs to be done, and nobody's doing it. Why? Because if you keep them poor, then you ain't got to worry about certain different things, healthcare. You have it. I'm in the South. 95% of the people in the South can't get health care unless they have a full-time job. But then you have to worry about the fact that those who are single parents that can't get a full-time job, because in the South, the kids get out earlier than the older ones. Mm-hmm. So if I don't have an older sibling or child that can come and take care of my daughter, or kid or whoever, my kid has to come home from school at 1 o'clock in the afternoon, sometimes, 2 o'clock in the afternoon, where the older ones get home at 3, 4 o'clock in the afternoon, which is really retarded. They share buses. They have all these different issues that's going on here. You don't have it. Then you got people that are stealing the children. So now I have to worry about the fact that my child has to come home on the bus. And if they can't get in the house, they may be sitting outside, or who knows who's lurking around. And
child trafficking. It's happening. Yep.
It's extremely heavy here in the South. Okay, so you have those systematical and political issues, and those are the things that's not even being talked about anymore in the system right now, because we got too many. You got this battle that's going on between the presidents, so they're not even caring about all the other stuff that's going on inside the world.
Like COVID-19, that's the real
right.
battle.
Basically, then you got COVID.
A distraction.
That's the distraction.
Let's talk about the mayor of New York. You know what I'm saying? I mean, come on now. He's an asinine. That's all I can say. I can't use the word that I want to use, so I'm gonna say he's an asinine. He's an idiot.
Well, there are so many different things that I've seen on the news that I've never seen before, that it's all a distraction. When you see Rudy Giuliani on the news and his hair dye is leaking from his head, you can't make that stuff up.
Yeah, I see it.
Like, this is real stuff.
Can you, do you mind, removing your mask? Because we can't hear you. Can anybody hear you? No, we don't want to remove our mask. That's why you got COVID and I don't. Like, what?
And then one time he farted on the air. He farted, and the lady next to him, she looked like it's like this stuff is all a distraction. But you keep watching. Like, I'm watching because I need to cover this stuff. But like, sometimes I just want to just turn the news off. It's like it's too much.
And we're not looking at all the stuff that's going on, all the economical things, all the things that's going on waste-wise socially. Like, come on, okay. We are in the middle of COVID. If you look at 95, where they were saying before that you couldn't have a job working at home jobs don't give you insurance. Well, now you got to give us insurance because we work from home.
Mm-hmm.
So you couldn't do it before?
They could do whatever they want.
They could have done it. They could have did it before. That when you had people that had a job working from home before, it was obsolete. You had so many people talking about, oh, you ain't got no job. You Tommy, you ain't got no job. You don't have this, you don't have that. But they would give you work at home jobs. You see so many people that turned over to mobile before COVID. Why? Because that means that they don't have to pay for insurance. So now you have it to where they have to give you insurance. They can't stop giving you insurance, or you had the insurance beforehand and now you get to keep it. But then if you were part-time, then you got to go find you a full-time job here in the South, as I said, because working part-time, you don't get insurance.
Mm-hmm.
But you can only get insurance if you're full-time.
On some jobs.
Well, I'm talking about here in the South. A lot of jobs here in the South, if you are not full-time, you can't get it. And then a lot of jobs here in the South, where I can say right here in North Carolina, they have a high turnover because they'll hire you. We are a at-will state. So they'll hire you for your first 90 days, and then they'll fire you because they don't want to give you insurance. So you got
that is you're right.
So what is Obamacare or so-called Biden care going to do that's going to be different than what Obamacare was? You got Obamacare, and it's still extremely expensive, especially for people who don't have a good income, who are only living off of their Social Security checks and different things like that. I know someone. Okay, I can use my godfather as an example. My godfather had bone cancer. He was on Obamacare. His doctor, thank God, his doctor was a great doctor, looked for him, tried to get him the medication, because they tried to tell you that there's no cure for cancer, but there is. He had to go through one pill was $10,000. One pill was $10,000. His doctor fought and fought and fought and fought and fought when they had to go through all this red tape just for him to be able to get the medication. Tell me when the medication showed up. 2 days after his funeral.
Wow.
2 days after his funeral. He didn't need it anymore. But that's what they wanted. They wanted to drag it along until he died so they didn't have to give him the medicine. This is what they do. This is what's going on. So
yeah,
socially wise, economically wise, present, future, they need to fix a whole lot of stuff. And it comes with fixing the healthcare first. If we fix healthcare and we fix all those different things that's going on inside the system, period.
Right.
When you feel better about yourself and when you have better healthcare and when you have better things, I can work better. I can't work knowing that I can't put food on my table.
Right.
I'm getting paid enough money to be able to take care of home. What's the point? If you gave us better jobs, then you wouldn't, you don't have to worry about the fact of people saying, okay, they skimming the on, let me get my words right, where they say, oh, well, if you're on welfare, the taxpayers are paying for the food. You're really not.
Yeah.
Let me talk about from and I'm talking from a personal aspect. You're really not paying for anything. What are you paying for? You're not paying for nothing because 95% of the people that are on welfare are stuck on it. Literally stuck on it. There's so much you have to do just to try to get off of it. If you're on welfare and you get benefits, you have to fight to just be able to get a job. Soon as a person gets a job, and I can talk because I was on it. Soon as a person gets a job, they immediately pull those benefits from you. So now I have to come up with within you already know that you're going to be 2 weeks behind in pay when you first get a job. How I'm going to eat 2 weeks? How I'm going to pay for my child's take daycare if I need to put a child in daycare, or if I have to put them in after school pick care because of the hours that I have to work. How am I going to get back and forth to work for that time frame when you've taken everything from me right away soon as I got a job? There's no gap in between. So that's why you have so many people that just say, forget about it. I'm just going to stay. I'm just going to stay on social services. I'm going to stay on welfare. I'm going to stay on this because I can't get ahead. If I try to go ahead, I get pushed back 5 steps more. So where they're going to build that gap at? That's the issue that needs to be really addressed. The gap between that.
And I was gonna say that's hard because like hearing you and saying that you was on it, I know a lot of people just on it because they're lazy. Not to say but some people are just comfortable with just being on welfare instead of bettering themselves. So like I'm just saying that's kudos to you, but I'm just saying
Right.
that's just like hearing your story and you saying it, it just shows like, okay, I can't, it's like you bringing another perspective to light because some people just find like most people who are on welfare are, lazy, not trying to look for a job. They go do whatever they can,
But sometimes they can't, but they're stuck. I mean, and I'm literally talking from, I'm talking from experience.
Yeah.
I'm talking from experience where, okay, I'm a single parent. This, before I get married, I'm a single parent. I have a child and I can barely keep food on my table without food stamps. Okay, so how do I go from that and then I go get me a job at McDonald's, but McDonald's only pays $8 an hour. But my rent is $800 or $900 a month, and I'm not bringing home that much money within the month. And then daycare, I'm just going to talk from the South. I'm not even talking from New York perspective, because if I would have talked from New York, we definitely would have never made it. Okay, so I'm going to talk from the South perspective. A house in an apartment in the South, an okay apartment in the South can run you anywhere between $800 and $900. You can probably get you a decent.
Is that a 1 bedroom or studio?
That's maybe a 1 or 2 bedroom.
Well, it depends on the area. What area are you in?
I'm in Fayetteville, North Carolina.
Okay, she's right.
Okay,
She's
so
right. That's a military. That's a military.
I'm in military area. Right.
Yeah.
So now there's some areas here where you can get an apartment for maybe about 6, but it's not that great. And mind you, when I say it's not that great for a Southerner. It's magnificent for a New Yorker. You know what I'm saying? But for a Southerner, an apartment for like $600 is not a lot. Okay. But then I'm only making $8 an hour on my job. And if there's not enough time on my shift and I'm working, and that's working at a fast food restaurant, right? Okay. You got transportation, but my 95% of everything is all the way out somewhere. So you got to get on the bus, or you have to have a vehicle to be able to get to where you need to get to. So you got to have gas money all the time. Then your child's school, they get out the kid. I'm gonna use my daughter as an example. My daughter got out of school at 2:00 in the afternoon. I don't get off of work until 4:00. So that either I have to get someone to pick her up or pay for her to go to after school care. How much is after school care? After school care is $190 a week. Well, that's one paycheck. How I'm gonna take care of my rent that week? How I'm gonna take care of my rent that month? And then if they was in daycare is $380 a week for one child. So my paycheck every 2 weeks or every week from a McDonald's or a wherever you want to call it is only $600. Well, 400 of it just went to
I was saying half it went to daycare.
How was I gonna pay? How I'm gonna get to work for the rest of the week?
Yeah.
So, and this is the reason why it's like a no win. Then think about someone like me who have health issues. Now I got all of that, plus I got to pay for my medications. If I don't have coverage, my medications cost just as much as my daycare or even more.
Mm-hmm.
How I'm going to pay for my rent? How I'm going to pay my electric bill? How I'm going to pay my water bill? How I'm going to pay this? How I'm going to pay that? And that's the reason why you have so many people still on welfare, because it's like, I'll go get a job, but if I get a job, I don't have anything to help me to be able to keep that job so that I can do better. Give me 6 months to a year to get myself back in order. Then after I get my 6 months to a year to get myself in order, help me to be able to do what needs to be done. I can get off of social services. I can get off of welfare. I can get what I need to be able to do, and I can move up in the chain. But if I don't get that help, you know what 95% of them say, forget it. It don't make no sense. I'm just going to stay on welfare.
Well, another thing is, back in the day, when I had my children, I had to do the food stamp thing too. And they would say, okay, you have to come to a training program to get the stuff. But I'm like, okay, I have my kids. I can't bring my kids to this thing. So it's like, okay, well, yeah, you can't get the same thing you're saying. So how am I going to get the help if you're saying I have to come and sit in a classroom for 8 hours in the day just to get the couple, what you're going to give me you're going to put $400 or $500 on the card so I could just buy food. You're not giving me money for anything else, for no bills or nothing. So
Right.
it's all a system, you know what I'm saying, to still keep us down. Man,
Right.
there's so much that we can go into.
It's definitely to me like a programming to make people
Mhm.
comfortable. It's like a setup. It's like
Yeah.
a trap. Like,
But you have,
they try to keep you there, but that's like I said, you have to do your research and
yeah, definitely.
lack of
But
knowledge. Lack of knowledge. You
Mhm.
gotta do your research. What can you do to better yourself or to manipulate the system? I hate to say it that way, but yeah.
And it's a sad thing. You really have to try to manipulate the system just to be able to get where you want to get to in life, because basically that's what the system is doing, to you, it's manipulating you. So
and well, the thing is this too. I'm sorry to cut you off. The thing is this too. There are people out there manipulating the system, and I'm just gonna say it. I've been in the office, and you see the Jewish woman in there with her kids getting the welfare, but her husband is making $1 million on Wall Street, and they just don't have it that they're legally married. But she got her man. They got money, but they still go down there and get their food stamps. No shame.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, why would it be shame? It's free money, not to be like it's free.
Yeah.
It's free. I mean, I hate to say it like that, but people are gonna find their way.
It's free money, but then when you go down there, you deal with attitude. The people at the counter have a bad attitude. Sometimes you feel it's like you feel degraded because they don't even treat you nice. You would think that's like a customer service job, right? And you would think that they would treat you nice. They would be nice to smile because people are going through. You know what I'm saying? Nobody wants to go in there. And you have somebody snapping. They on the phone. They're not even paying attention. They have an attitude. They give you the side eye. That makes people don't even want to go in there anyway. You know what I'm saying? And that's why people don't like to support each other also because some people have an attitude or whatever, That's what I've seen.
So what do we do? And maybe some people in the comments can say, what do we do to break that?
The people saying.
Yeah. What do we do to break that? Because it seems like there's all three of us having a conversation about it.
Like,
what do we do to break that? What do we do to break that system?
Yes, let's leave that for comments. What do we do to break the system?
Dr. Smallwood asked me a question. She said, please give us how to get in touch with you. I am NC born. Okay, I will definitely let you know how to get in contact with me. Tyela DeBose, you can come to my business page here. My regular business page is CDI Studios or CDI Studios and Graphic Design. How else? I'm not gonna get my number out on social media, but you can email me tdebose26@gmail.com. I'll definitely will respond back to you. You can always inbox me as well. I check both my regular inbox and my other inbox if you're not a friend. So
Yes, and I believe Talia's name is on the description. If you can just check Black News Undisputed page, the description, you can just click on her name and then send her an inbox on Facebook. All right. All right. So we have a lot of comments. I don't even know where to begin. You ladies pick which I want. There's a lot of them.
I'm trying to see them all. I'm trying to get to them.
So.
Oh, I see it.
Okay.
Okay. As a person.
We didn't forget about you, ladies and gentlemen.
Government and politics.
Now I tell the people we didn't forget about them. We're just in a great conversation.
What are the people saying?
Let's see.
I think Josiah said something good. Where it says, as a person currently pursuing law and in local government politics, remember, though these leaders have to make decisions, policies, and agendas that at times may not have tough consequences at a macro level and a macro mu or a level. The office and the job of the president and the vice president is tough and presses on the core conscience of each legislator and elected official. Conscious values and continuity in how they serve their constituents. So I agree, but I disagree. I guess I can say it doesn't really go to the vice president and the president. A lot of times we look at them, it starts with the government in your local area. And so you gotta realize that the people that's in your local area, stop voting for dummies.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sorry, I'm just not talking about them. Just stop voting for dummies. You got people, and then some of us, as we keep saying, it's lack of knowledge. How many of us on here, 95% of the time, when you went and voted, if you voted, just because you're a Democrat, you clicked on all the Democrats.
Instead of doing the research.
You don't know what they've stood for. You don't know what they did. You just hurry up and went in there and you clicked on everything that you need, not knowing who you were voting for. And that's why we'll be stuck in the situations that we're stuck in.
Exactly.
Period. I have no comment. That's true. I agree with that. And I feel like some people like especially this time around, same thing with Obama. I think a lot of people voted on the fact that Obama was African American. at Biden just for the fact that there's one Trump in the office. Like, oh, we have
Let me get the
elected
lesser of two Evie.
African American VP woman running for president. I really feel like they use race throughout many races to try to pull that as a political way of winning because they know the power when it comes to that.
Exactly.
Read Bryant Jones' comment.
I definitely felt disgraded at the welfare office when I got hurt at work. I was employed and just needed a little bit of help to get some food. They basically talked to me like I was trash.
Yeah, now y'all New York
Especially when you're a black man.
workers, they horrible. Listen, I had to put one in place when I was in New York before, and I had to say, listen, but for the grace of God, there go you, ma'am. I'm gonna need you to get your life in order. And so, like, you're not a paycheck away from being where I'm at. I really need you to. And they horrible, but they horrible.
Yeah,
They
I don't think people realize they don't have a humbling spirit anymore. Because you too, what God gives can also take it away. You can still be in a predicament, and I don't think people realize that. Like, it's sometimes when we get to a certain place or a level in our lives, like people be like, oh, like they look down at you. And I said, people need to realize like you were once there. You was not everyone is always rich or raised with a silver spoon in their mouth. Like, people need to realize, like,
Exactly.
Remember,
and 95% of them ain't even that way. I had an example where the roles switched. The roles literally switched. But this lady was so evil and so mean to me. She was so mean, kicked me out of the office and everything. And I'm like, all right, no problem, cool. And then one of my friends, maybe 2 years later, maybe 3, say, hey, I'm having a dinner for my sister. Can you come out to lunch with us? And the lady was there and didn't have money to pay for her food. And who paid for her food?
See?
And I was just like, yeah, don't do stuff.
I definitely know God will remind you. God, like I said, when He give us it, also take it away. He will take you to a place where you need to remember.
Yeah, did she apologize at least? Did she have a change of heart, or she was
like she didn't even know who I was?
Well, she had to do the best that she could. She was like, "Oh my gosh, I don't know you. I don't know you. I don't know you. I don't know you."
And I was like, me out of Salvation Army. I was sitting there and I'm sitting there texting her. I'm texting my friend like, yo, why is your friend, who is this chick? I said, you really know her? She's like, I know some people. I was like, I gotta go because I'm not dealing with this. How long gonna tell her? And Holy Spirit was like, sit your tail right there. So I'm sitting there. I'm nice and I'm quiet. We sitting at the dinner table or whatever. And I don't know if something she ordered, something got mixed up. I don't know. But I just went ahead and I wasn't trying to be a big baller because I wasn't a big baller or anything like that. I didn't have money like that, and I never do. But when God blesses me, I try to bless other people because that's how I stay blessed.
Yeah, but that's called but that's a little bit of karma. She needed that. She needed a little humbling.
Dre,
you know what I'm saying?
You know the old TJ, okay, Dre? You know the old TJ. You know the TJ from Hollywood. That would have said, "That's out of here," okay?
She would have got those hands probably like, "Oh, you ain't at work now. You ain't at work now."
Yeah. And so I was just like, okay, but it was also a humbling spirit for me because God was just like, okay, so you're gonna do the same thing that she did to you.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, dang, Jesus, like, really? That's how you gonna do me? You know, like, gonna do me?
Exactly.
So you have to, and that's all a part of the systematic issues and things that's going on. You just gotta be careful of how you treat somebody. And even if somebody treats you evil, don't mean that you have to return evil for them. You know, like Lydia keeps saying, if a little, niceness goes a long way.
An act of kindness. Really, you never know what the person's going through. You never know your example. Because like I said, God will bring, he could have your enemies dying with you at that table. You never know.
Yeah, be quiet,
never
Ryan. I
know.
see your comment.
You never know. Like that's what I'm saying. He will you never know because it's always a test. It's always a test, and how you take that test and how you gonna respond to that test is what's gonna level you up to your next. So that's like tell people just remember, be mindful. Just be very mindful, like in your actions and what you do, because you never know. Like, and I keep saying that little act of kindness goes a long way. You never know what people are going through.
Exactly, because and I'll just give my little example real quick. So my kids, when we first moved to Long Island, their bus driver was like really mean to them. She would say sit down and just yell at them, sit down. She would yell at everybody, but my girls came home crying one day. The bus driver, she's so mean. This is the first day of school. Lo and behold, the bus driver is my next door neighbor. I said, oh no. I said, this thing got my kids crying on the first day of school, and then I find out she's my next door neighbor. Because I went up to the school and to the principal, and I made a complaint and everything. And then I found out she was my neighbor.
Wow.
I was like, well, I don't really care if you're my neighbor, but I'm just saying, hey, don't be talking to my kid. You don't know who is who, you know?
Mm-hmm. And that's what I'm saying. You never know. Like, you never know. You never know.
Yeah.
And then I think I see, as far as like Josiah, he has a lot of different views when it comes to, and believe me, I'm not a political person. I promise you I'm not.
Yeah.
I don't.
This is not a political show.
Yeah, I'm not a political person, but please understand and know you just have to look at things from different perspectives. Biden is he's old. He's just old.
So was Bernie too.
Who?
Bernie Sanders, he's old too. They wanted him in there.
You know, but a lot of their views, if you do look at a lot of different things that, you know, Trump does, Trump is for nobody, for himself. He's not for black, he's not for white. He's for himself. But you also have to understand too that Trump is a businessman.
Mm.
Yep.
And as a businessman, he runs things just totally different.
Yeah. And that's what people liked about him.
He doesn't run it like the person who has the silver spoon in their mouth. Why? Because he worked hard to get to Trump Towers.
Yep.
And so he's going to run things a little bit different with some controversial things and different. And believe me, I'm not a Trump supporter. Oh my God, please understand that I'm not a Trump supporter. I promise you I'm not. I am not a Trump supporter. I don't like him. I will like him out the office. I liked him as him being in Trump.
The Apprentice, Home Alone, you know?
Right. That is the Trump that I like, not as my president. I think that he's a great businessman. He's a horrible president. Does that make sense?
Yes, and I like Donald Trump in wrestling. Everybody know I'm a wrestling fan, and Donald Trump is a WWE Hall of Famer. Did you know that? He is actually a wrestling Hall of Famer, and he's the president.
Okay.
I thought I'd just put that out there.
Oh,
okay, his resume, you know.
Like, I'm done. Look, check
right.
Oh boy. Checked out. Moving forward, next subject.
Yeah, so thank you everybody for the comments. I'm sorry we cannot read everybody's comment right now, but starting in January, we're gonna start at 8:00. All right, so y'all can hang out because I see the numbers going down. Some people probably went to bed, you know. So sorry about that, folks. Catch the replay. So I have a business. How do I brand it, Talia?
Okay. Well, first thing you need to do is, as far as having a business and wanting to brand it, you need to know, who your audience is. You need to know who your audience is. You need to know who you're going to market to. You need to know what you're going to do. And then, once you figure that out, you need to come up with a branding identity, which is your logo, and a nice little slogan if you want to, but you don't always have to come up with that. Color scheme, you know, different things like that. You need to figure out what colors fit you. So sometimes you probably need to look into what color theory is. You know, if you notice when it comes to since we were just talking about presidential areas, their colors are red, black, and white. Red, blue, and white. I apologize. red, blue, and white. They stick with certain different colors. If you notice, every president wears blue suits and a red tie, or
Mhm.
a red and white tie, or a red. There is certain things that they wear certain colors for. Why? Because blue stands for corporate, corporate colors, so different things like that. So you just kind of got to look at what you, if you're looking for a more edgy type business, you may want something that's not those type of colors in it. How do you market? Make Facebook, word of mouth, Instagram, social media. Social media is your biggest marketing tool at this present moment. If you have a business that gives not just a service but an actual product, as they are marketing on the news right now, Etsy is your best friend.
Mhm.
Etsy is your best friend right now for all businesses that beside, especially for those of you who don't want to pay to get a website designed by me or Andre's wife. Um, Etsy is your best place to go to. You build your own little website. You do what you need to do. Get you a Shopify account as well, and market your business and do what you need to do. And then just make sure you don't take on too much more, too more than you can handle. I would say. Um, is it? Am I missing anything, Dre?
Um, be consistent. Be consistent. Don't try to change the colors too many times.
Yeah.
Know what you want and keep it like that for a while. Cause McDonald's been that M and yellow. You ain't never seen no black M,
Right.
no black arch. You see a golden arch
Right.
from the beginning of time. So
Mhm.
keep the same color.
Yeah, consistency is definitely key, especially if you I'm more of a social media type person. So if you're going to be coming on social media branding and talking about your business, pick certain days of the week that you're going to do that and stick with it.
Mhm.
Especially when it comes to like YouTube done, and packaging is everything, as my 13-year-old taught me. And so packaging is everything. Make sure I don't care if you're selling a t-shirt. Get you some t-shirt bags off of Amazon and put your shirt inside. Value your business more than what you're giving them.
Mm.
Value your business more than what you're giving them. Make sure that your product is packaged correctly. It's nice to have a nice product. What can I show you? Okay, I have a nice product. I have my phone case. Do that. I have a nice product. I'm selling this phone case. If you order this phone case, I should not receive this phone case in a plastic bag.
It might not even come in a plastic bag if you mailing it.
If it's going to be mailed, you still need to package it correctly.
Correctly. Yeah, package
If
how you
it,
want to present it. Yeah.
packaging is everything. Get you a nice little bubble mailer. You can get them from and put it in there and brand it. This is my
But
logo. I put my logo on everything that I do. So you may not have the same stuff that everybody else have, but you can brand your stuff properly. Literally, I have stuff, I'm sorry, all my packages is in a car that need to be mailed out. So I can't really show you too much of packaging at the present second. But make sure it's packaged the correct way. Okay. If you think about your Amazon box, Amazon got what? Here, look, I got an Amazon box sitting right here. Look at that. Let me help y'all out real quick. You see, it got their stuff on here.
mm-hmm.
They have their own tape, and it's just a regular cardboard box. But they also got their logo towards. I don't care if you get you some vinyl and you put your sticker on side your box and you send it to the person. Packaging is everything. It will make the person say that you thought very well of them. And something that my daughter started teaching me how to do was to send a thank you card in every package that I send my client and give them something off on their next purchase.
I agree because it keeps them coming back. I do agree with that.
I
Usually,
like
when
that.
I'm done doing a service, like a lash service or anything, I send them the aftercare and I definitely let them know, like, come book me again. Holiday specials up until then, or like even before they leave, I try to rebook them like in the beauty industry, rebooking them. If you can rebook them at the first appointment, that means you have them guaranteed as a client. So that's
Right.
some things that I was learning cosmetology school is rebooking them right then and there. Right then and there. But if you can't, like send a text message like, "Oh, I'm glad to be able to do your service today. You look beautiful. Hope I see you again. If you have any questions or concerns, please hit me back. Feel free. This is my number, and I hope to see you again." Just certain things, like it's just wording and everything when it comes to that. When it comes to like you said, making branding yourself.
Mm-hmm. And customer service is everything.
Oh
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
Customer service is everything. I'm not a phone person. I do not like sitting on the phone and consulting with a person, but I will do what I have to do. Why? Because the only person that knows your business better than you is you. Nobody knows your business as well as you do. And as we've been saying throughout the whole entire show, value you. No one is going to put a greater value on your business than what you can.
Mm-hmm.
And do not, please, something my friend Crystal, I don't know if she's still on here, but something she taught me, do not, please, do not promote out of emotion. I don't care if you got a bill that needs to be paid. Do not lower your standards because you got a bill that needs to be paid. Does that make sense?
Amen. All money is not good money. I do agree
Thank
with you.
you.
All money is not good money. When people ask me, can I do a service? If it's something I could do, I will do it. But if I cannot do it, I will recommend someone that I feel like they could do it. And that's just me. I'm not going to take a job because to me, reputation is everything. My name means everything. I want to run this business off integrity. I don't want to just take money because it's easy. Like, oh yeah, I could do it. And no, I cannot. I cannot. So I really value that. Not all money is good money. If I could do it, I'll do it. If not, I would recommend someone who can. I will
And
support
every
someone else.
client
I
is
will.
not
I will.
fun.
I will put back into someone else.
Exactly. And then with me, with the whole photography, videography, people don't understand, and this is probably for everybody. People don't understand how much equipment costs. So you will contact me,
Product.
and people will say, "How much for 2 photos?"
I can't help you.
I still have to drive 45 minutes to you. You only want 2 photos because you be whatever you can't afford it or whatever the case is. But the computer costs money. I got to edit the photos. The software, Adobe Suite, is like probably $40-$50 a month. You know what I'm saying? People don't understand that this equipment ain't free.
Time.
So when your time, travel, all of that kind of stuff, you could be doing something else. You want me to do, okay, for me, family members, I don't charge family members because my mindset is that, okay, if I do it for free, I have an advantage because then, like I did a aunt's wedding. Okay, I did the ceremony, took her to the park, Prospect Park in Brooklyn, took the photos, and I was agitated. I didn't have to do no reception. I didn't have to stay there till late. I was able to go about my business, and she was very happy. So
I
that's my strategy, huh?
agree with you, but you also
Mhm.
got to be mindful because family sometimes can also take advantage.
Oh yeah, definitely. But that's why
You
I.
have to
Mhm.
be mindful when it comes to that with anybody
Oh yeah,
because
definitely.
I feel like what you put out is what you get back. But like I said, some people they take kindness for a weakness, and you
Yeah.
just gotta be mindful. Like I said, you just gotta really be mindful when it comes to that.
Yeah, the way I look at it is like I don't want to do business with certain people. Like if you're my best friend and I feel like us going into business might mess up the friendship, I'd rather not go into business. So even if I'm gonna work for you and provide a service, if I know I'm gonna be there anyway and I enjoy what I do, I'll just do it. You know what I'm saying? But I'm still you're gonna get quality, but I don't have to be spent on a time constraint where I like, all right, I gotta stay here until the very end, because I'm doing it for free. So that's
But
just my
like I
mindset.
said, like me personally, when I think about like my circle and what my circle is, like not everyone in my circle is gonna get a free service.
Right. Exactly. I understand that.
I'm just being honest because I know like it's what you put out. What you you gotta be aware. Like, were you looking out for me? Were you doing this? Were you like? Are you giving
And
the?
some of them just invite
Are
you
you
because
giving
they
the
know
same
you're gonna do
energy
it
I'm
for free.
giving you?
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. Are you giving the same energy
You're
I'm
right,
giving you?
Talia.
So not
Hmm.
everybody. Like, I can't be like, oh yeah, I'm gonna do this for free.
Yeah.
oh yeah, like I'm like, you know what I mean? Like you just gotta be mindful, like, cause like I said, like people can take advantage, and I learned that the hard way. So with
Yeah.
certain situations,
I
so
had to
yeah.
learn that, I had to stop. What made me reevaluate some friendships was when you invited me to situations, because I do photography as well with, and so you invite me to come, and they're like, "Oh, bring your camera." It's broke.
I'd be like, I forgot. My bad.
Right. And so then you stop getting invited to all these things. So you was really only inviting me because you knew
Because
that
of
I was
what you
going
can
to
bring
do
to the
service
table.
for you for free. So as my brother Paul Malik used to say, you remember Mr. Paul that used to run the front desk? He
Yeah.
always says to me all the time, I value me. And he's been saying that to me for years. I value me, I value me. And so from now, so what I make sure that I do is if there is no value in what I'm doing, I'm not doing it. If I'm not going to receive anything back from, and I'm not saying that everything you do has to be, you have to receive back, but I can, if me receiving back joy is something that I'm still receiving. But if
Mm-hmm.
I'm only doing this because I'm here to please you, yeah, I'm good.
Yeah.
Yeah, and like the talk on that, like I said, you just gotta be mindful. You just need to know
Yeah.
who's in your corner for
Who's,
you,
who's for you?
because
Who's
like
for you?
you said, you never know. Like some people just have you around just because what you can bring to the table,
Yeah.
like what
Yeah.
you
Don't
do,
be
what you
afraid
serve.
to charge what you know you're worth. Don't be afraid to charge what you know you're worth. I don't care if you did just start your business. You
Mm-hmm.
know that what it is, what you do is worth a certain amount of money. I use my daughter as an example. She started doing. She's not doing slime anymore, but she has her own lip gloss business now. So with her lip gloss business, she sees everyone else doing certain things, but she wants to charge her charge for her business a little bit lower than what others charge. But she doesn't realize that what it costs to produce the product. So only thing that she was really making back was the money that it cost for her to make. She's breaking even basically.
Mm-hmm.
Cannot do that in business. You have to be able to charge what it's worth. And something that a lot of people don't know when it comes to business, if you look at retail, they will charge you 2.5 times the amount it costs to make their product. You do the same. So if this iPhone case costs me $5, I'm charging you 25
Mm-hmm.
because I can produce two more and I still made a profit.
Mm-hmm.
You get what I'm
Exactly.
saying?
Just like the Jordans. The Jordans probably like a couple of dollars to make.
Hmm.
Just
Even
saying.
though the product, and that's the problem. It's not the fact that the product may cost a certain amount of money. It's the value you bring to that product.
Right.
Understand what I just said?
Oh, I
It's not
understood
the
because you're
cost
right.
of what it is that you have. Because I'm trying to think, okay, this piece of paper may only cost me 2 cents, but the value that I bring to this piece of paper is I can put this piece of paper, which is a screen print, on a shirt. And now I just provided you clothing that
Mm-hmm.
brings you more value. You bring value to your product,
Mm-hmm.
not the product. You bring the value to the product.
You ain't.
You
I
bring the
agree
value.
with you. I
Amen.
agree with you.
Yeah.
That's
There's
absolutely right.
so many services out there that you can use that's for free. And I hope you don't mind me giving this information out because I know a lot of people may not even know that it's
No,
available.
please, please.
But Lydia was saying about, like your text, these free text messaging services. I know think that a lot of people that start their businesses and they be sending you text messages and you be wondering like how they do that, text to such and such and such and such. There's a free text messaging service that you can use to be able to do that. I think it's called textfree.com. Look for free text messaging services on Google. It's your best friend.
Google. Yep.
Look for free text messaging services. If you are shipping products and you don't want to always pay the same, it's a little bit cheaper on Pirate Ship and stamps.com, and even going to UPS and FedEx itself and creating a business account to ship your products. It may cost you $2 or $3 cheaper than it will cost you at the actual post office or the UPS. And you can have your stuff, you print your labels out right at home, put them on your product, and you can give it to the mailman or the UPS person when they come and pick it up. You ain't even gotta go out the house. So that saves you time, saves you money, saves you energy. What else is free out there that you can do? A lot of people don't know. They feel that they can't get ahead. If you sell products, please, 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 please get you an EIN number. It is free. It takes 2 minutes, literally. Fill out the information for the particular type of business that you have. If you don't understand what kind of business you have, because it's going to ask you if you have a sole proprietor, a partnership, it's like 3 more. What is it? Sole proprietor, partnership, LLC,
A DBA, doing business as,
yeah.
I think.
No, it's another.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry. I don't know. Yeah.
DBA is different as well, but there's another one that it is that's out there. You should know exactly what type of business partnerships that you have and that you do. So go look them up. Go look up what it is that your business to do, like a sole proprietor.
I think the top 3 though, because it's either sole proprietorship, LLC, or partnership.
Right.
Those are the 3 you're gonna run into, like, mainly
the most. Right. And so so you do know that LLC means limited liability company. Yeah. And this is this information that people just may not know. That a sole proprietor, basically that's just you owning your business by yourself. A partnership is when you have a business with another person.
Or 2 or more people, depending on how it is.
People, basically, right. Make sure that you know exactly what kind of business it is that you're running. Make sure, and organization, that's the other one. Do know that organizations are nonprofit. It's for nonprofit. Mm-hmm. Okay, you cannot say that you have an organization and it's for profit, meaning that you are creating money from that. Organizations are more like churches and charities and different things like that. So you can't say you have an organization, because that means that you're not really receiving money. Any money that's coming in is only the money that is to keep the building or whatever it is that you're doing abreast. It's not for you to actually make money off of it. Do remember that. Ways for you to be able to get funding. I started out with mine with doing PayPal. So when you get your EIN number and then you start your business and you start using different things, because a lot of people didn't tell me this. My friend Crystal gave me all this information when she helped me start my t-shirt business, and I learned from there. So I'm just giving it back out. When you start your business and you have PayPal, the amount of money, make sure that people pay you through PayPal, not through Cash App, not through your Zelle, not through Venmo. Have people pay you through Cash App. Why? Not through Cash App, on PayPal, because you are building a rapport with PayPal, and then PayPal has what they are called capital loans. Capital loans will allow you to be able to receive funding. Right now, like the government is giving that EDL programs out, but you do know that money has to be paid back. Okay, a capital loan is different from a regular loan. With a capital loan, whenever someone makes a purchase from your company through PayPal, a percentage of that money goes to pay off the loan. So now you don't have to worry about making a monthly payment for a loan that you use to be able to get a product. Please also keep in mind that when you do get this money, you use it for the business and not to go buy a car or a PlayStation 5 for your little kid or to go Christmas shopping. Use that money, because people are like, oh, they gave me $6,000. Like, yo, I'm gonna. No, dumb. Use the money. I'm sorry if I called you a dumb and you got offended. Use the money to invest in your business. That's what the money is there for. So if you need to pay someone to do your marketing for you, and you know that they're going to write you a business plan, You not know that there's so many angel investors out there right now that will give you money just because you have a great business plan? Google and learn how to write a business plan. Um, Square also does the same exact thing that PayPal does. It's just at this present moment with COVID going on, they're not giving any money out. But I believe PayPal is still giving out money. When you get that, you have to bring in a certain amount of money. I think when you become qualified to get the capital loan, you was at least bringing in 10,000 for the year. So you need to bring in at least up to $10,000 for the year, and don't act like you can't do it because you can't. You can bring in that amount of money. Please don't not lower your standards and think that you can't bring in a certain $10,000 is nothing. You make more than that on a regular job, only making seven something dollars an hour. If that's what she was making. If my daughter worked at McDonald's and she was making $8 or $9 an hour, she's bringing home close to 38, anywhere between 32 to $38,000 at the end of the year. So do not think that you are not bringing in a lot of money because that $10,000 is a lot. It's really not. It's nothing. $10,000 is honestly nothing. You made basically little. It also becomes a way of being able to have a tax write off at the end of the year. If you sell products and you purchasing your products from Alibaba or any other places, or if you're getting it from different companies that charge taxes, look into getting your reseller's license. Reseller's license is free as well as an EDL loan, but you get your reseller's license through your state treasurers. Okay, so you go to, like in New York, I believe you may have to go through the comptroller's office to be able to get that reseller's license. When you get the reseller's license, it goes along with and that's basically when they say I need your tax ID to make you tax exempt, they mean your reseller's license. And then you don't pay those taxes for that company up front. So if you do hair, right, Lydia?
Hair, lashes,
Hair, lashes. Okay. So say for instance, you went to your local beauty. If you had your reseller's license, you went to your local beauty supply store, and you wanted to make an account with them. You can use your reseller's license. They can't charge you taxes on the products that you purchase from them.
Okay.
But you keep a receipt from that because now you charge your clients taxes.
The taxes
you have to pay that tax information back every 6 months or once a year. So that is information that is very useful, especially right now with everything that's going on. A lot of people don't know that is something that needs to be done. Do know that if you are charging taxes to your people when they purchase stuff from you, that tax money does not belong to you. It belongs to the government.
You don't want to get caught like Wesley Snipes now. Pay your taxes.
Yeah, that money is not yours. So if you selling shirts and your shirt costs $12 and you don't have a reseller's license, they only is supposed to pay you $12. I don't care if you did pay taxes on it. That shirt is $12 for you. But if you have a reseller's license, you can charge them the 8%, the anywhere between the 6 to 8% that it costs for your taxes. But that 6 to 8% actually goes to the government. That's not your money. Now, some of us do charge a little bit more, so they get some little coins along with that. But still, that's not your money. So that money. Say that again.
I said I agree with you, but I was just like you say, it starts with a business plan. That's something I definitely learned in school. Like you always want to save like a third of what you make, just like to pay back your taxes. Like give yourself like like your monthly expenses, this and that, but also keep your receipts of what you're doing. Like always keep receipts.
And because that becomes a tax write-off at the end of the year, that's why they do itemized taxing. So when you do your itemized taxing, you put all that information in, you do it, and then you get back more money than you get back most of the money that you spent out at the end of the year. Your equipment becomes a tax write-off. I'm trying to think of other things that I can think that can actually help as far as business is concerned that I know that I personally have done.
What would you say that as far as like someone starting out in the business. I think a lot of people, they have ideas. Like, so what would you say for someone who's trying to start, like, do like 5 steps that they could take right now and be like, okay, if I wanted to start a business today, what do they need to go into?
You need to know what it is that you need to know your niche that you want. Then you need to get you a logo. You don't have to have a website. Create your Facebook page. Business page.
That's how I started. I don't have a
And
website.
I do websites. You know what I'm saying? So me as a person who do websites, I'm like, no, you need a website. No, if you can't afford a website when you first start off, these are free things that you can do for free. That you can do. Create you a.
My whole thing was with the website. I was like, I don't feel like I have the clientele that I need yet to do a website.
That's not true.
Like right now, I can manage what I'm doing. I'm not selling products. I'm not doing anything. So this is just like right now, I'm just doing based off of booking. But I know I'm getting to that point where, you know.
So do you?
Like, you need to do a website soon,
or booking.com or something like that to have people book. That's what you use.
I use Facebook. I put my number on my Facebook page, my business page. I let them know, like, my phone. I have everything organized. I have heard of Acuity. I think that's right. I heard that's a good booking site to start with.
Right.
It's no monthly charge it's like you only get a monthly charge when you get a certain amount of bookings, if that makes sense.
Yeah, and I believe they
reach a certain amount.
Yeah.
That's when they start charging a monthly fee because then you're on another bracket. But like right now, you could do that for free. But like I'm not. Me personally, I'm not there. I think when the websites come is when I want to start selling products. Stay tuned; it's coming soon. Yes. But yeah,
yes.
But right now I'm using Facebook or, like I said, my cell phone.
And Facebook is great. I have a friend of mine who does hair and nails, and she uses her Facebook for all her bookings. I help set it up. So like most of the time I get the confirmation emails.
Oh yeah, I was gonna say, like, that's what I like about Facebook, that when someone's booking an appointment, it automatically sends you where you can either accept or decline. So it gives you a chance to be like, oh no, that's actually not, like, if they put, like, let's say they want to book at 10 a.m. and I have a 10 a.m. slot already, like, it tells me, like, either I can accept or decline. And when I decline, I can be like, well, this is my availability if you want to come on this day, this time. And it lets me know. So that's one thing I do. Like, Facebook is very good. Facebook business page, when you want to do your business page, you want to start that way, that is definitely a nice start to go with, because it definitely is an easy setup. Like,
right.
Very straight to the point. So I do agree with you on that.
And then if you have some people who are not social, they don't do the social media, like she said, Acuity and booking.com definitely works. Both of them, because it gives them your schedule that's available.
And so then you can block out, you can block out
certain dates and stuff. And then you can
I played with it a little bit. So I was just like, oh, okay, this is easy. Like, but like, I'm getting there.
Yeah, and please note that those sites are not just for hairstylists and beauticians, things like that. It is for those who do consulting. So if you're a consultant, that's on here. Or if you do fashion or any type of business that you need to be able to book an appointment for, you can use those apps for those for those services. So that was 1, 2, that was 3. Let me see. I need to give y'all 2 more things that you can do right now. As we said in the beginning, be consistent. And the 5th thing, which should have been the first thing, write your business plan.
Oh, facts. I agree.
Yeah, definitely write your business plan. A lot of people don't even understand or know what it is to have a business plan and what it is. Like, what is your mission? What's your vision for your business? Where do you see your business within the next 5 years? What is your target audience? These are questions that you need to be able to ask yourself to figure out what it is that you're going to do. And then if you don't know, that's something that you have to figure out. If you are a public speaker, just because you're a public speaker don't mean that everybody is your audience. Everyone's not your audience. There could be, you could be a target speaker, a public speaker just for young people, or or just for women or for men, whatever. You need to know 95% of you being able to get in the clientele that you need is knowing your audience.
And I agree with you. That's one thing I would say about Facebook. With Facebook, it'll tell you like who's the main people viewing, like the ages. So like
Mm-hmm.
I know like the people I target from 18 to 45. I know like those are the main people that are constantly viewing my page. So
Right.
I know like, oh, okay. So I got like, okay, I got some youngins and I got, I still got, people who is more mature. So I'm just like,
Mm-hmm.
okay, it literally breaks down who is clicking on that page. So that's one thing I can say. Like you said, Acuity, Facebook, that breaks it down. As far as Acuity is easy for booking, but Facebook will definitely like give you a breakdown of like who's visiting your page a lot. Because I look at that a lot, like just to see like, okay, who am I targeting? How should I make my posts more appealing or drawn into, or how can I draw these people to book with me more and stuff like that. So I agree with you. That's some good advice. You need to know your audience or who's watching.
Anybody have any questions that they may want to know or
Yes.
we can answer?
Anybody in the comments? Okay, Christina Champagne said, thank you for these business tips and knowledge.
Oh, you are so awesome.
This is more than helpful. Really appreciate all this information. You're welcome. Do you have any questions?
Yeah, please give us any questions. Ask the ladies. That's why I had to fall back. I'm just enjoying this. This is lovely. This is beautiful. I'm just enjoying the information. I hope everybody's taking notes. But you can watch the replay. Watch the replay. I'm actually gonna cut this part out of the. Well, I'm not gonna cut it out, but I'm gonna take this part and make it a separate video so people could just go back and listen to the business tips, because I'll put it on another platform or something so people can just hear some business tips and then they can come back to the unedited podcast. So
Okay.
this is really good information.
Yes,
Here we go.
She gave good top 5.
Yes. So we have a question here.
Like the information for building a website. Do you want
I think she wants your information. I think.
You can email me at tdebose26@gmail.com, or you can visit my website at cdistudios.org. You can also inbox me if anything, and I can help you out with that. Have a special that's going on right now for the end of the year for $6.99. You get a 3 to 5 page website along with a logo and 500 business cards for free.
Ooh.
There you go.
What type of thing you? For real.
That is definitely a special. Okay.
That's what's good. I didn't hesitate.
No, that's right. See, so don't hesitate.
When I heard your price, I said, "Oh, wait, what?" Like I didn't hesitate.
Yes.
That's good.
Yeah.
Okay, here we go.
That again? Oh.
So pushing yourself in other states. It's really more of a word of a mouth type thing. I mean, I'm from New York, and but I live here in North Carolina. 95% of my clientele is California, Florida, and New York. I basically don't have much people here in the South that are my clientele. And before it was Texas. To be able to get a different audience, like I said before, Etsy is great. I use Etsy marketing, and with me using Etsy marketing, I have packages that's going to Iowa. I have packages that's going to Illinois. I got packages that's going all over the place because of the marketing that they give you from off of there. You can also use Google Maps if you're gonna and sync it to your business page, I believe, on Facebook, and that should be able to help you out with different target audiences. Just knowing your SEO, and I know that doesn't make the search engine optimization. Um, I know, like, what's the SEO? Your search engine optimization. You kind of got to put in the metadata. I think somebody's got their little kid writing on a thing.
Yeah.
um, yeah, you have to put in your okay. So if you ever purchase on Facebook, I always have to give an example when I don't know how to say it the right way. When you are on Facebook Market, if you sell on Facebook Market, it may ask you to give keywords. So just give the different keywords that you need whenever you're putting it out there. So when people are that's considered search engine optimization. That's how people will be able to find you and target who you are. You come to the top of the list. Like if you go type my name in on Google, it's gonna come up CDI Studios or Psalmist DeBose or something. You're gonna find me in one of those areas. Why? Because that's all people know me as. Because that's what I put myself out there at. Hashtags. That may help as well.
I agree. All right. Well, that was a lot. We've been on for an hour and 55 minutes, so we're going to cut it here. We had a lot of people here, and we had a lot of people here, but then they had to go to bed. Sorry about that, folks. Watch the replay, and starting in January, we're gonna do better.
8 p.m.
8 p.m.
10
We
p.m.
will be here at 8 p.m. Christina says, thank you so much.
Yes,
Talia and Lydia.
on us.
Your husband still awake?
I think he went to sleep already. 4 hours. I don't think he's still awake. He's gonna say when I come in the room, "Hey babe, how you doing? Okay, good night, love you."
So your husband, the viewers fault. We're sorry for keeping you so long. Yes. Oh, you still here, Dr. Smallwood?
Yes, Dr.
All right.
Thank you.
Yes. We're gonna contact you, Dr. Smallwood. We need to talk.
Yes.
Thank you. Yes. Thank you for always being here. All right, guys. So thank you everybody for joining us. Talia, thank you so much. Yes. Thank you very much for coming on tonight. I didn't know it was going to be on this long, so I'm sorry. But,
listen, I didn't think I was going to be able. I said beforehand, I'm not going to be able to stay long, but look, I'm here.
I forgot you said that too.
I
thought you had to go somewhere. But yes, thank you so much. We really appreciate you. We will be here next week with another episode of the Unedited Podcast. All right, guys. So tomorrow we have Kingdom Minds Podcast with Oshana Warren at 8 p.m. right here on Black News Undisputed. All right, guys. Please. We have the Kingdom Minds Podcast with Oshana Warren tomorrow at 8 p.m. right here on Black News Undisputed. All right. So, partner with us today. Our Cash App is Undisputed Pro. Every dollar that you donate will help keep Black News Undisputed on the air. Treat us to a cup of coffee or maybe buy us lunch. Whatever amount. $1, $5, $10, $15, $20, $25, $30, $35, $40, whatever you like to give. It would really help us out, and we'd appreciate it. All right, we're not getting paid to do this, but we thank you. We would definitely thank you for your help. I don't like asking for this kind of donations, but sometimes you got to do it. So I'm just putting it out there. So thank you anyway. We thank you all, even for your viewership and watching. Thank you for being in the comments. We really appreciate you. We will be on every single day this week. We started yesterday with The Bible Says with Ashana and myself. Then we had today. Then tomorrow we will be on again. And Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and so forth. We'll be 7 days a week streaming live on Black News Undisputed. So check us out, support us, and we will continue to bring you great content. All right? Thank you, Talia.
Thank
and
you.
Lydia. All right, we'll talk off the air. Thank you, everybody. We'll see you. Have a good night. It's past your bedtime. Don't watch Netflix. Go to bed. Don't eat. That's another thing. We got to start early so people not eating snacks at this late night. I don't want nobody blaming us for weight gain and all that kind of stuff. So, saying they eating too late, because of us. So,
Right.
all right, guys. Thank you so much. We'll see you next
Thank
time.
you. Until next time.
Yes, yes. All right. Peace.
Peace.